comedian Dave Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. Trust the fucking... Oh no, he's stopped now. The fucking meth head next door was doing some leaf blowing. I knew he was going to cause some trouble today. When I pulled in, he was mowing our nature strip, so I knew he was on one. I don't really even know who lives next door. I think there's two identical twin brothers that are both on meth. 110, they're both on meth, and there's a lot of screaming and yelling coming from that house all the time. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night it is, their bedroom light is always on. Actually, I only even found out there was two of them the other day. I was speaking to one of the guys, and I was asking about his truck, and he said it was the other guy's truck. And I was like, there's another guy? Here he is doing some leaf blowing. You should see their place. It is a meth lab. They don't need to be blowing anything. I don't know why he would be blowing anything. Maybe he's curating some weed leaves or something. Anyway, fucking... Where am I in life? I'm at the point in life where I'm just looking at careers. I do this maybe once a year, once or twice a year, once every 2 or 3 weeks. I used to do it once every 10 years. I used to go online and look at like university courses, look at TAFE courses, become an electrician, and then I'd just go back to drinking and doing nothing, and I'd be like, all right, that's sweet. At least it made me feel good for that moment. And yesterday, I was there. I was like, crane operating in the US. It sounds like a nightmare there. Sounds like you have to get into the union to become a fucking crane operator, earning any money. And they were like, I put it all through AI, and they're like... They're like, Spanish is an advantage. And I'm like, that sounds about right. That sounds about right. You need to be bilingual. Just like in Australia. But you need to be multilingual in Australia. If you can speak Arabic, Filipino, and fucking Irish, you'll get by on the sites here. So I was looking at that, and then I was like, maybe I'll become a welder. That always comes up for me for some reason. I'm like, maybe I'll become a welder, I like welding. I've never, ever welded in my entire life. I've never even touched it on something. I've never even put what's it fucking called? It's not TIG, it's not MIG, it's the other one. Just the bullshit one with the stick. I'm just going to call it stick welding. It's not, but you know, the one with I've been around it. I've done rigging. I worked for a steel company. I just never held it in my hand and pressed it on something. But I was like, yeah, maybe I'll become a welder. And then I remember watching the steel guys when I was in the crane, just scrolling through my phone, looking up every 45 minutes and going, fuck that. There was a couple of days there where the welders had done a 14, 15 hour day, and they were feeling dizzy and nauseous from all the fumes, just wanting to throw up because they've worked so hard and they're breathing in toxic chemicals. And they're asking me to lift something. I'm rolling my eyes going, fuck these ladies. All right, I'll move it in the crane. I'll jiggle these controllers for a little second. So I was looking at that, and then I was looking maybe I'll do some fucking history or economics course in Spain. Maybe I'll start a new career. And then I was like, maybe I should focus on comedy, which I'm going to do as soon as I finish this job. But there's a lot of things that are in flux at the moment. So I just need to keep earning, and within the next few months, things will be decided and I'll be getting out of here. Out of the job, out of Australia, hopefully out of the universe. But it's nice to look. Even sometimes I look at houses as well. Be like, yeah, that property, fuck, I could live in that property. Maybe I will just fucking stay a waterproofer. I'll get a fucking loan. I'll hunker down and I'll just pay off my mortgage and just fucking ride it out for the next 30 years or something. But that's not me. That's not going to be happening. But sometimes it is nice just to have a little fucking look around. The good thing is my skills don't transfer internationally. Well, my legitimate working skills don't transfer internationally. Like, it would cost a lot of money to get into fucking crane operating. You got to get all the tickets and shit like that. And then waterproofing, I have no idea. I don't even know how to waterproof, so that's not an option. But the good thing is, when there's not an option, and also the pay in other countries is so bad that I would never do it. So they aren't even options. So I'm just out there raw dogging. Then I got to really fucking focus on the comedy. I'm coming back to it. I've still been doing gigs. I get out and do at least 1 gig a week. I do it every Thursday at the moment. And I'll ramp it up once I figure out what the fuck's happening with my life. But I'm still writing material. There's still stuff going on. I just need to point it in a direction. So yeah, it'll just be a few more months of this. And then I'll be fucking out of here. No matter what, I'll be out of here. For better or for worse, I'm leaving. You know, as you get older, when I was younger, honestly, I didn't care about career or future or anything at all. I didn't even think about it. I thought I was going to die. So I was like, all right, well, what's the point of planning ahead? Or I thought the apocalypse was going to come, or there was going to be some major crisis or fucking catastrophe. And I was just going to scoot through the whole thing. And then people started doing things around me. And I'm like, maybe I should be doing something. And then I would start doing something, and then I'm like, no. This is not for me. And it was always not for me until I started doing barista at the cafe, and they made me wear a uniform, and I had to wear a hat like I work at Chipotle or Subway or something. And then I'm like, maybe I should have got a skill. And then I stumbled into cranes, and then I was like, I'll do this crane shit forever. I have a skill. And then like 2.5 years into crane, I was like, I hate this more than anything I've ever done in my entire life. which is actually how I felt about waterproofing 1 month in. I was like, I hate this so much. But the money's good, and I'm just going to stick with it for another 2 months. And now I'm like 14 months into waterproofing, and like I do know what's going on, but like I don't. Anyway, fucking just bear with me while I figure out the next phase of my life. This is the next phase. Whatever happens next is the next phase. Sydney phase is over. India phase is over. There was Melbourne phase. There was, what else was there? There was COVID. COVID was sort of like the overarching theme for a few years there. But this next one, 6 to 9, is the next phase. Whatever happens next is, I don't even know. But I need to think about it a little harder than, I should become a welder. Which I would do for like 3 weeks and quit. Anyway, fucking let's get fired up for the 6 to 9 phase. But for now, that'll do, and I'll see you the fuck later.